Tonight on Y News, the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission to summon several customs personnel after discovering shipments that entered the country with falsified documents. Philippine National Police Civil Security Group relieves 27 senior police officials over issues of corruption. The Department of Agriculture saw lapses in the handling of confiscated meat products that tested positive for African swine fever virus. Water service interruptions hit different businesses in Metro Manila. And a scientist creates a grotesque model of what office workers could look like in 20 years. Good evening. The Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission will summon several customs personnel next week for a full-blown investigation into shipments that enter the country with falsified documents. Let's find out why from Asher Kadapan Jr.
The Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission, or PACC, confirms having recovered some falsified documents from the Bureau of Customs last week. The PACC, led by Commissioner Greco Bellica, conducted a spot check at the Port of Manila and the Manila International Container Port today. They inspected the two ports, particularly their X-ray processes, where containers and shipments that enter the Philippines passed through.
We have several shipments that came out na falsified ang documents. Yung mga falsified documents kasi yung ginagamit ng mga smugglers, kaya sila nakakapag-smuggle out.
According to Bellica, the BOC also confirmed they have confiscated falsified import documents. The PACC has issued subpoena to the district collectors of both ports to provide more documents within 24 hours. The commission will also summon several customs personnel for a full-blown investigation next week. Bellica said less than 100 personnel are involved in the anomaly within the BOC.
Ang corruption sa customs is really in the level of the examiners, appraisers, district collectors, more than it is in the level of the commissioner. Dahil sila po yung boots on the ground.
The PACC is determined to dismiss and file charges against customs personnel who will be proved to have involved in the irregularities. The PACC will recommend reforms to finally curb corruption in the BOC. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue, City of Manila.
The Philippine National Police Civil Security Group has relieved more than 20 senior police officers due to issues of corruption. Newly installed police officials are given 2 to 3 months to prove their worth. They are expected to perform their duties truthfully. Rosa Licos details why.
The PNP Civil Security Group, or CSG, has implemented a major revamp among the senior officials of the Firearms and Explosives Office, or FEO, Supervisory Office for Security and Investigation Agencies, or SOSIA, and in the CSG itself. According to CSG Director Police Major General Roberto Fajardo, the move is prompted by issues of corruption. Fajardo says 27 senior officers in the 3 units have been relieved, including their deputy chiefs.
Dati, iniikot-ikot lang sila, nililipat na ibang division. When I told them, pag kita tinanggal, ito-floating kita. So, ganun ginawa ko, wala muna silang pwesto. Tingnan natin itong mga inilagay natin na bago kung they will deliver o mas maayos.
One of the complaints the CSG has received is the piso-piso click transaction. In this system, an applicant will have a hard time transacting with the FEO because of its computerized system. So he will ask for help from FEO personnel, and this is where extortion begins.
So 100 yun. Ay, hindi tatakbo yung papel mo kung walang iyon, ganun kasimple. Ano bang ginagawa sa online? Ini-click. Kung hindi ko i-click, wala kang layang, ilagay. Kaya nga piso-piso kada click eh. Ako sinasabi kong totoo because I want to put a stop.
Fajardo adds that some SOSIA personnel don't report to work at times because they are moonlighting as consultants in some security agencies.
Yung listahan na naka-detail doon sa opisina na yon, itong number, pero nakikita lang, ito yung number, mababa. Nasaan ngayon yun? So ang reported na information, sabi ko nga, marami akong kabarkada, nandiyan kayo, nagre-report. Nagiging consultant na ng ibang agency, nagiging consultant na ng ibang firearms dealer. So ito yung babasagin natin. May sweldo na, may kita pa.
According to Fajardo, he will give 2 to 3 months for the newly installed officers in SOSIA, FEO, and CSG to prove their worth. Rosa Licoz, UNTV, News and Rescue.
The Department of Agriculture says lapses may have occurred when several meat products were confiscated in Clapan Oriental, Mindoro. Vincent Arboleda will tell us why.
Personnel of the Oriental Mindoro Provincial Veterinary Office did not follow the protocol in confiscating meat products, according to the Department of Agriculture or DA. Instead of placing the meat products in separate containers, the confiscated items were placed inside a single pail.
Nung makumpiska po kasi ay napagsama-sama ng ating provincial veterinary na kumpiska. So that actually medyo yung protocol po dapat pong masunod na pag-iwahiwalayin po talaga dapat.
DA Yusek Ariel Kayanan added that because of the mishandling, the homemade products could have contaminated the branded processed meat. The products were brought by a traveler from Metro Manila and was confiscated by the authorities in Calapan, Mindoro. Because of the possibility that the branded meat was just contaminated, the DA will conduct a test on the products of the involved brand.
Pag tinest po natin yung nandoon at nag-negative naman po, nakabatching naman po yung ginagamit niya for meat processing, then the benefit of the doubt ay dapat po maibigay sa kanya kasi negative nga po eh.
The DA did not name the brand or brands of the confiscated processed meat. They are also coordinating with other concerned agencies and local governments to make sure no meat products enter and exit their jurisdictions without any proper documents. The DA also reiterates to hog grazers to avoid selling live pigs if signs of ASF virus infection is already seen. Hog raisers are also advised to report to authorities such incident to prevent further spread of the ASF virus. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Department of Agriculture dismisses the public's worry of getting infected with African swine fever virus. Mirasol Abogadil tells us why.
The Department of Agriculture confirmed they have intercepted some processed foods in Mindoro which are infected by the African swine fever or ASF virus. The DA says the confiscated processed meat products include hot dog, longanisa and tocino which came from Central Luzon. The department wants to allay the public's fear of also getting infected with the virus.
Huwag po tayong matakot sa ASF. Simula po noong 1907 nung madiscover yung ASF, wala ni isang tao na individual, manok, kambing, baka, kalabaw na nahawa ng ASF. Ibig sabihin, tanging baboy lang po ang nakakasakit dahil sa ASF. Hindi po to delikado sa tao, bagamat magiging carrier.
The DA also reminds businessmen not to sell meat of hogs affected with any kind of disease.
Hindi lang ASF, magkasakit yan ng ordinary cholera, pneumonia, hindi po yan pinapakain dapat sa tao at hindi po namin pinapakain. Tanging malulusog na baboy lamang ang ipinapakain sa atin sa pamamagitan ng inspection ng NMIS. So wag po tayong matakot sa nakumain ng baboy.
The DA also plans on banning hog racing in Dasmariñas, Cavite after cases of ASF have recently been recorded in the city. Mirasol Abogadil, UNTV, News and Rescue.
President Rodrigo Duterte directs all offices under the executive branch to coordinate, adopt policies, and institute measures to manage, contain, and control the transmission of African swine fever, or ASF, through Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea. Aside from this, all concerned government agencies are directed to provide assistance, alternative livelihood, and skills training to those affected by ASF. The Office of the President also implores the public to extend their utmost cooperation to government authorities in order to prevent the spread of ASF. The Department of Agriculture has confirmed there are some pork products from Central Luzon contaminated with the ASF virus. Residents in Metro Manila and nearby provinces are reminded to store water just enough for their needs as Manila Water and Maynilad implement water service interruptions. Mai Bermudez explains why.
No water, no customers. This was the experience of the personnel in this car wash shop in Project 7, Quezon City today. Brandon Tumaneng, the car wash shop owner, says it's such an inconvenience to buy drums to stock water in times like this when water concessionaires in Metro Manila are implementing water service interruptions.
Malaki rin, syempre wala magpapahugas. Tambay yung mga tao. Sumasweldo sila kahit walang hugas.
Lourdes de la Cruz, a 65-year-old laundry maid, said she washed her clothes for more than 5 hours because of the limited water supply.
Mahirap po ba? Mahirap. Kanina pa nga ako. Anong oras na ako nag-umpisa? Mga 8:45.
Tapos, hanggang ngayon, naglalaba pa rin kayo?
Walang tubig pero kung may tubig, tapos na. Kanina pa. Isang ba, walang tubig na, hindi wala. Wala kang kita.
In this laundry shop, meanwhile, operations are affected once there is a water service interruption.
Pag alam nila walang tubig, hindi nagpapalata rin. Kaya wala.
Water concessionaires remind the public that amid water service interruptions, it's necessary to store water enough for their needs.
Kumbaga, ina-advise yung ating mga customers na maaari naman nilang gawin yung mga gawain sa araw, no, na natutuon yung tubig, and meron silang oras para makapag-ipon lamang ng supply para dun sa gagamitin nila for the water interruption.
To know the schedule of the water service interruption in your area, visit your water concessionaire's social media pages. Mai Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Office workers risk developing a bevy of physical and mental health issues over the next 20 years if workplace conditions do not change, a study has found. Jovic Bermas has this report.
A disturbing life-size doll with a hunchback and red eyes shows what the office worker of the future could look like. The doll, named Emma, was created as a warning to highlight the problems with current work environments. Emma was developed as part of a report dubbed The Work Colleague of the Future, which revealed over 90% of UK office workers suffer from work-related health issues, have more difficulty doing their job. The doll has a permanently bent back from sitting down for hours with bad posture, varicose veins caused by poor blood flow, and dry red eyes from staring at a computer screen for hours on end. She also has a large, rounded stomach as a result of her sitting position. William Hayam, behavioral futurist and author of the report, said it highlights the need to act now and make radical changes to the way we work.
Employers can do a lot more in the workplace. If they can design buildings so that there are actually more spaces for people to take breaks in, if there are different types of desks, different types of workstations within them.
Hayam advises that to avoid these issues, employees should avoid sitting down for so much of the day, taking more walk and talk meeting and more regular breaks, and should cut down on screen time and typing on a keyboard whenever possible.
Maybe not even using your keyboard at all. More and more voice-activated work, more artificial intelligence, more augmented reality work, and so on. So the more we can do which isn't sitting purely at a desk, the better.
Jovic Bermas, UNTV News and Rescue, London, United Kingdom.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up to where Angelo Castro III left off. I'm Alex Baltazar, and here are the headlines. The National Privacy Commission shuts down 26 online lending companies that allegedly shamed their borrowers. The Manila International Airport Authority tightens security measures in NAIA amid the anticipated passenger influx this coming holiday. Philippine National Police to go on full alert status beginning next week. An injured Philippine Eagle Owl rescued in Quezon Province to undergo months of rehabilitation. And know where to buy affordable gifts in Divisoria this holiday season. Good evening. The National Privacy Commission has ordered the closure of 26 online lending applications. This as the number of complainants who say they are suffering from public shaming continues to grow. Harleen Delgado clarifies why.
Iris cannot eat properly because of fears for her and her loved one's safety. She says some agents of online lending apps from which she used to borrow money have threatened her and her friends on her contacts list. According to Iris, she started to use online lending apps when her salary came delayed.
Yung mga kontak ko sa phone, pinagtatawagan nila na sinabi na meron nga daw akong due date. Parang tinatakot, pati sila tinatakot na pag hindi ako nakapagbayad. Kasama sila sa mga kasuhan.
She adds the high interest rates and other fees amounting to almost 1,000 pesos are also unjust. Iris admits at times she could not pay her loans before the due date. She insists, however, this does not justify the abuse she is suffering.
Meron pa ako isang agent na nagsabi sa akin na, ka. Meron pang isa, babae pa yun, pero grabe din magmura.
Iris is just one of the many netizens who appeal for help due to public shaming and threats from agents of some online lending apps. Last week, the National Privacy Commissioner NPC ordered to close down 26 online lending apps for failure to appear before the Commission to answer allegations filed by complainants. We checked on Google Play Store if they are still available. One of them is still downloadable as of today. But some netizens say other apps continue to message them. During a recent investigation on 3 major online lending companies, the NPC found out that the lending companies have violated the Data Privacy Act of 2012. Some of their violations are the use of contact list or phone directory without consent or authority, disclosure of unwarranted or false information to other persons, use of personal information for harassment and threatening communications, and unduly intrusive personal data processing. Operators who will be found guilty may face up to 7 years of imprisonment and a fine of up to 5 million pesos. The NPC appeals to the public to read the terms and conditions before borrowing money and be responsible for the protection of their personal data. Borrowers can also visit www.privacy.gov.ph to file complaints. Meanwhile, financial advisor Chinky Ten advises to practice saving money to be prepared in case of emergency. He adds it's preferable not to use lending apps and other sources with high interest rates.
Ang unang dapat lapitan ang mga kamag-anak. Doon tayo mag-umpisa sa mga taong nagtitiwala sa atin. Lumapit na rin tayo sa mga government agency.
The Philippine National Police, meanwhile, warned the public to ask for help from authorities right away and report anomalous online lending schemes. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Expect heightened security measures in the Ninoy Aquino International Airport beginning next week. Passengers are assured that airline companies' on-time performance has improved based on a recent report. Showan Nano tells us why.
The Manila International Airport Authority or MIAA assures travelers it is prepared for the expected influx of passengers at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport beginning Monday. The airport authority has alerted NAIA security personnel. The deployment of airport police and security guards has been increased. Expect tighter inspection of baggage upon entry in NAIA. New X-ray machines and explosive trace detectors have been installed in the airport to avert the possible entry of unwanted objects. Traffic buildup is expected around the airport, so MIAA advises air passengers to come to NAIA ahead of their flight schedules.
Siyempre, meron ho tayong mga special security requirements gaya ng papunta ng Amerika, gaya ng papunta ng Australia. So, yung mga airlines encourage their passengers to come in slightly earlier. Pero as a standard, 3 oras po tayo sa international, 2 oras sa domestic.
MIAA has coordinated with the Bureau of Immigration to make sure sufficient manpower will be deployed to accommodate passengers and avoid long queues at immigration counters. MIAA has also talked with airline companies about the issue of delayed flights. General Manager Eddie Monreal says, based on a recent report from the Air Carriers Association of the Philippines, there has been a big improvement in the airline's on-time performance.
Mas malaki ho ang in-improve magmula ho ng July. They're hitting about 85% already. Yan po ang report ng ating mga kasamaan, Cebu Pacific, Philippine Airlines, Air Asia, SEMGO, tsaka yung PALEX kasama ho. And I hope they should maintain that or even surpass what they have reported to us.
Cebu Pacific assures its passengers there will be no massive flight cancellations in the coming long holiday.
We have made sure that our schedules will have will have ample yung maintenance timings po at saka yung spare in case na meron pong makaproblema doon.
Cebu PACC wants to avoid the recurrence of an incident in April when 40 of their flights got cancelled due to aircraft problems and issues with cabin crews. Joanna, UNTV News and Rescue, Pasay City.
The Philippine National Police will deploy 35,000 police personnel during UNDAS. They will be deployed particularly in places of convergence, including cemeteries. Leia Ilagan reports why.
For the security of the public during UNDAS, the Philippine National Police will implement full alert status beginning Monday, October 28. PNP spokesperson Police Brigadier General Bernard Banac says 35,000 policemen will be deployed to guard places of convergence, which include bus terminals, seaports and airports, marketplaces, and cemeteries. Almost 100 force multipliers will assist the PNP. Banac reminds those who will take a vacation next week to lock the windows and doors of their houses before leaving.
Kung meron tayong CCTV, dapat po activated at siguraduhin ito'y gumagana. Tanggalin lahat ang mga appliances sa kanilang pagkakasaksak nang wala pong anumang insidente ng sunog na mangyari.
Do not post at the moment photos on social media for personal security. Avoid wearing expensive pieces of jewelry. Do not bring expensive gadgets outdoors, especially in public places. Motorists are also reminded.
Sa lahat po ng mga motorista, ang paalala rin natin ay inspeksyonin ng maigi ang mga sasakyan nang hindi po magkaroon ng aberya at hindi po tayo magdulot ng mabigat na trapiko sa mga kalsada.
Banac adds the PNP Highway Patrol Group or HPG will deploy road marshals and set up police assistance desks on major thoroughfares to assist motorists and travelers. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
The holiday season is just around the corner. Divisoria vendors are anticipating an influx of shoppers, especially after the government's 60-day clearing operations. Aiko Miguel tells us why.
Divisoria remains to be popular for its stores and shopping centers that sell affordable gift items. Many Filipinos are expected to crowd here as the holiday season nears. Although the Manila City government has cleared the main roads of stalls, vendors are still allowed in secondary roads or commercial streets. Carmelita and Christina, who have been longtime friends, purchase various items in Divisoria every year. They say they have noticed a huge change in the shopping area.
Malinis, maluwag, preskong mamili. Mas kampante na ngayon kaysa dati na nagsisiksikan, na hindi mo alam, nadukutan ka na.
Their advice, visit Divisoria during weekdays.
Huwag yung week. Kasi maraming tao pag Sunday, Saturday.
Aside from noticeably wider roads, traffic buildup is no longer experienced here. Jaime Yao has been a vendor in Divisoria for 3 decades. He says the place is now safer.
Mas maganda nga po sa ngayon kasi yan ang tinatawag natin national road para makita kung may
Kung meron mga turista, maluwag, pasok po kami, commercial street po to, talagang palengke po to, kaya napabigyan kami ni Mayor.
Stores and stalls are open daily, day and night, especially when there is a night market. But vendors have this request to Mayor Isko Moreno.
Kung maaari, hanggang December, mapagbigyan kami makalatag dito sa kanto nito sa bangketa. Para kahit hanggang December lang, mamigyan kami ng hanap buhay.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The mayor of Clarindown in Misamis Occidental was killed in an ambush on Friday afternoon, a day after he was arrested for allegedly assaulting a massage therapist, police said. Based on an initial police report, Clarin Mayor David Navarro was gunned down around 2:10 p.m. by 4 unidentified armed men on board a van. Navarro was aboard a police vehicle on his way to the city's prosecutor's office in Cebu City to undergo inquest proceedings when the attack occurred. The town mayor was arrested on Thursday after he allegedly mauled a male massage therapist at a parlor in Cebu. Police said suspects immediately fled after the crime. Investigation on the incident is underway. Malacanang stands firm President Rodrigo Duterte does not need to release a medical bulletin. The palace also reveals the president's doctor has not prohibited him from riding a motorcycle. Rosalie Cos reports why.
Talking about transparency, Malacanang insists it has revealed President Rodrigo Duterte's health condition to the public. For Malacanang, there's no need to publicize the president's medical bulletin, especially that his medical condition is not serious. Presidential spokesperson and Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Salvador Panelo says the chief executive has been diagnosed of experiencing muscle spasms, the reason for the unbearable pain of his spinal column.
Hindi
For
na,
once and
hindi
for
na
all.
kailangan yan. Alam mo, ang medical bulletin comes into play only when the president is in serious illness. That is a constitutional requirement.
The palace official adds the president's doctor has not prohibited him from riding a motorcycle. Based on photos from Senator Bongo, the president once again rode a three-wheeled motorcycle within the Presidential Security Group compound.
Hindi na, siguro natanong niya na yun. Otherwise, hindi niya gagawin. Masunurin yan Masunurin sa doktor.
Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, Emperor Naruhito, Myanmar State Councilor Aung San Suu Kyi, Thailand Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, and other heads of states and foreign dignitaries have expressed their health wishes for President Duterte through Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte Carpio, who attended the Prime Minister's banquet in Tokyo on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the palace once again insists the report which alleges the president's delegation to the Japanese Emperor's enthronement ceremony was snubbed, prompting him to cut his trip short, is absolutely false. Secretary Panelo adds the Japanese government accommodated the chief executive generously. Rosalie Cos, UNTV, News and Rescue.
Malacanang advises Vice President Leni Robredo to detach herself from the detractors of the Duterte administration's anti-drug war. It can be recalled the Vice President has renewed her call to abandon the war on drugs that has been a failure, according to her, and a dent in the country's international image. She also said the United Nations must be allowed to investigate the administration's war on drugs. However, presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo says the Vice President's most recent remarks are bereft of actual basis, adding that she is just echoing the lies and black propaganda of some of her colleagues in the political opposition. He also said Vice President Robredo ignores the fact that majority of Filipinos recognize and approve President Duterte's policy on the anti-illegal drug campaign. Moira de la Torres fans in Cebu City cannot contain the excitement and happiness to finally see their favorite singer perform live on stage. From Cebu City, Gladys Tawabi will tell us why live. Yes, Gladys.
Yes, good evening, Alex. As early as 5 p.m., Moira de la Torres fans are already here in Waterfront Hotel, Cebu City, waiting for the venue to be finally opened for the audience. This shows how Cebuanos really love and support the fast-rising artists. One of the things that they look forward to seeing tonight is the duet of Moira and Jason. Performing also this evening are Kurt Vick, Kim Baluzo, I Belong to the Zoo, and I Sigara. Meanwhile, the 11-year-old fan of Moira, Graciela Panta, whose mother has kidney and heart problem, is already here in the venue. Graciela said she loves how the singer sings and how her music brings hope. Alex, on the other hand, Moira is very grateful for the love and support of her Cebuano fans. And that's the latest live here in Cebu City.
Thank you, Gladys Tawabi reporting live from Cebu City.
And to complete the most significant news for this day, Y News continues. Here are the top stories. One of the 99 barangay captains in Manila City issued with a show cause order explains the situation in his area to the Department of the Interior and local government. Bernard Dadis reports why.
Kung wala po sigurong namamahala ng parking ngayon, siguro right away mapalinis namin ng buong kalsada bilang compliance doon sa hinihingi ng batas. Pero gaya nga ng sabi ko po, medyo lumpo po kami ng konti ron dahil napakapangit naman po na nakikita natin legal at ito po ay gobyerno din, masasabi natin, ibabaliin natin. Ang hirap po ng katayuan namin.
This was how Barangay Captain Johnny Rollin de la Cruz explained his situation to the Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG. Captain Rollin is one of the 99 heads of barangay in Manila City who received a show cause order from the DILG for allegedly not following the directive from President Rodrigo Duterte to maintain roads and streets free from obstructions such as illegal parking and illegal vendors. He clarifies there is an existing city ordinance that allows vehicles to park in certain parts of roads such as Paterno Street in Santa Cruz, which is under his jurisdiction. The Manila Traffic and Park Bureau, or MTPB, collects 30 pesos for motorcycle vehicles, 100 pesos for cars, and 300 pesos for delivery trucks. The MTPB said they explained to the DILG yesterday the situation of one of the busiest cities in the country.
Talaga bawal talaga mag-park lahat. Yung initial na memorandum, so bawal talaga lahat. Kanya lang, sa Maynila, halimbawa ng Ermita Malate, tsaka sa Binondo area, marami tayong mga designated parking slots dyan, parking zone. So paano yung mga halimbawa yung mga establishmento, yung mga bangko, pagka hindi natin sila, alam naman tayo, Maynila, walang mga paradahan dyan, lalo sa Ermita Malate. Paano sila papark doon? Paano sila makapagtatransact ng business sila ron? Ngayon, magsasara yung establishmento, magsasara yung kawawa rin yung mga Manileño, mawawala ng trabaho.
Captain Rollin also said that he already explained himself to DILG Undersecretary Martin Dino in writing and in person. He said Dino understand his situation.
Kaya sinabi ko sa kanya di kahapon na, Yusek, kahit pisong may butas, ang barangay ko hindi na involved mula umupo ako sa vendors at saka sa parking. Everything is wala.
Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Meanwhile, local authorities in Candelaria, Quezon failed to release a Philippine Eagle out into the wild after being rehabilitated for 1.5 months. The bird was discovered last August with a big wound in its chest. Nina Armilio has the details.
A Philippine Eagle Owl, rescued last August, is now in the custody of a private veterinary in San Isidro, Candelaria, Quezon, after its wounds, sustained 2 months ago, have not fully recovered.
Talagang malalim yung laceration sa dibdib o yung sugat niya, no? And severely dehydrated yung owl kasi nga wala na siyang appetite kumain.
Yesterday, officials tried to release it into the wild, but the bird was unable to fly. According to authorities, the Eagle Owl still needs 4 to 6 months of rehabilitation before they could try to release it again. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources plans to move the owl into a bigger facility to assure its full recovery. The Philippine Eagle Owl is a vulnerable species of bird found in lowland forests on the islands of Catanduanes, Samar, Bohol, Mindanao, Luzon, and Leyte. Authorities believe the rescued animal had been domesticated, but experts warn of possible sanctions for illegal possession or handling of this species.
Sa ngayon po doon sa Republic Act 9147, ay yung Wildlife and Protection Act, na kung saan yung pag-possess o pag-handle ng mga wildlife species na walang kaukulang permiso is may kaukulang parusa or violation.
Nino Armilio, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Large parts of California were under red flag alerts this week, suggesting a heightened risk of fire amid high temperatures and powerful winds across Southern California. Judith Ann Fuente has the details.
A brush fire that broke out Thursday afternoon near Santa Clarita burned multiple structures and threatened to rampage through neighborhoods. Firefighters were desperately trying to stall the wind-driven fire as it rapidly moved toward subdivisions in Agua Dulce. Authorities have requested more air support as the fire has moved down from the hills. Some residents in Santa Clarita fear their homes will be affected.
Fearful that, sparks like the other fires that we've had here in California, they can go very far. Then we see another one just broke out over here. That's very frightening too. That's pretty far away. But the problem and the issue is the wind.
It's scary. It's very dangerous. It's very windy, as you can see. And if you look around, there are more than one fire. There are maybe like 2-3 fires around us.
The tick fire was moving parallel to the 14 freeway and Sierra Highway into Mint Canyon, Canyon Country, and Agua Dulce. An estimated 40,000 to 50,000 residents are currently under mandatory evacuation orders. In Sonoma County, the Kincaid Fire, the severe of several blazes raging throughout California, has scorched some 10,000 acres of land, the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection reported. The Sonoma County Sheriff issued a mandatory evacuation to roughly 2,000 residents. California Governor Gavin Newsom said the state had secured a grant from the Federal Emergency Management Agency to help ensure adequate resources to battle the brush fires and to help local and state authorities recover eligible costs.
These conditions are multifaceted. It's not just dry weather, it's high winds, low humidity. The consequence of these characteristics aligning as they have, we are taking precautions, not just the utilities, but the state itself.
More than 500,000 homes and businesses in the state could lose power this week as utilities, including Pacific Gas and Electric and Southern California Edison, cut off electricity as a preventive measure against wildfires. Meanwhile, the Philippine consulates in Los Angeles and San Francisco said they are now monitoring the situation and constantly coordinating with authorities to make sure that our kababayans are safe. Judith Nofuente, UNTV News and Rescue, Santa Clarita, California, USA.
And for the news abroad, here's Stephanie C. reporting live from Hong Kong. Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening, William. Nearly a year after Lion Air Flight 610 crashed into the sea after taking off from Jakarta Airport, Indonesian authorities released the final report of their official investigation into the incident. According to authorities, the crash was due to design and mechanical complications with the airplane, a Boeing 737 MAX. This report details why. Indonesian investigators blame a mechanical flaw as one of the main factors of a Lion Air crash on October 29, 2018, when Jet 610, a Boeing MAX 737 jet, crashed, killing all 189 people on board. The flight crashed into the Sea off Karawang of Indonesia's West Java province shortly after taking off from Jakarta at 6:30 a.m. local time. nearly 1 year after the deadly crash, Indonesian investigators have released the final report in a briefing held Wednesday for family members of the victims. Anton Sahadi, who has been seeking justice for the two of his cousins on board that flight, was not satisfied with the result. According to Sahadi, the committee attributed mechanical issues as the main reason for the crash. He said other factors include lack of communication and education regarding the maneuvering characteristics augmentation system, or MCAS, a feature of Boeing 737 MAX's flight control system, which malfunctioned 13 minutes after the plane took off. Latif Nurbana lost his son in the crash. Just like all the family members of the victims, he wants clear answers. Indonesian investigators are expected to release the final report to the public today. Stephanie C., UNTV News and Rescue. Police have begun the process of moving the bodies of 39 people found dead in a refrigerated lorry in Essex. 11 of the victims, believed to be Chinese nationals, were taken by ambulance from the port of Tilbury to Broomfield Hospital, Chelmsford. Police have been granted extra time to question lorry driver Mo Robinson, 25, on suspicion of murdering the 8 women and 31 men. Post-mortem examinations will be the next step in the investigation. A spokesperson for Essex Police said recovering all the bodies will take time and the dignity of the victims was their primary concern. Hundreds of tourists formed long queues to climb Australia's Uluru soon after dawn on Friday, the day before a permanent ban on the climb takes effect following a decades-long fight by indigenous people to close the trek. Marisol Abogadil reports why.
Huge crowds have begun scrambling up Australia's Uluru on the final day before the climb is banned. The giant monolith, once better known to visitors as Ayers Rock, will be permanently off limits from Saturday. Uluru is sacred to its indigenous custodians, the Anangu people, who have long implored tourists not to climb.
I guess it's an emotional day. It's happiness is, I guess, majority of the feeling, knowing that people were, no longer going to be disrespecting the rock and the culture, and being safe. Also, a bit of sadness knowing that there's some elders along this journey who aren't here to witness it.
Only 16% of visitors went up in 2017 when the ban was announced, but the climb has been packed in the recent weeks. On Friday, climbers faced a delayed start to the climb due to dangerously strong winds. After about 3 hours, park officials deemed the climb safe to open. The UNESCO World Heritage listed 348-meter monolith, formerly known as Ayers Rock, is a top tourist draw in Australia despite its remote desert location near Alice Springs in the Northern Territory. Nearly 400,000 visitors flocked to the Australian landmark in the year to end June, government data shows. To commemorate the climbing ban, the park will conduct public celebrations over the weekend. Marisol Abogadil, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you, Stephanie C., reporting live from Hong Kong. The UNTV Cup teams are 3 game days away from the second round eliminations. Some are in a must-win situation while others maintain good standings. Sunday's triple header will reveal which teams have stronger chances to advance to the next round of eliminations. Bernard Dadis tells us why.
Coming from a double overtime loss to the NHA Builders on October 13, two-time champion Judiciary Magis must work harder on Sunday to sustain their campaign in the season of the League of Public Servants. The Magis will battle against undefeated rookie team DNR Warriors in the first game on October 27, 2 p.m. at the PACC City Sports Center.
Laban naman namin sila doon sa liga ng COA. Medyo alam naman din namin yung mga laro nila. Maliban na lang doon sa isang big man nila, yung Rivera. Siguro pag-aaralan namin, kailangan manalo kami doon eh. Kung matatalo kami, siguro hindi na kami abot ng second round.
And our Warriors admit they are new in the league and it's a huge challenge to defeat the Magics.
Basically, tutuloy lang namin yung yung pag-work as a team. Yun ang importante sa amin, yung mag-gel talaga yung team.
Magagaling naman, naniniwala ako sa players namin. So what we wanted was really yung transition defense pagka magawa. Alam namin, offense will just come.
There's a deep pass. Nets, everybody jumping. He nails and scores.
The NHA Builders, on the other hand, aim to clinch their third win to secure a ticket to the second round eliminations. The Builders, with a 2-1 win-loss record, will face a winless GSIS Furies.
May magkaroon ng intensity, kailangan namin pumokus sa laro kasi kailangan namin manalo eh. Kasi pag hindi, sa kabilang team, baka doon kami masabit eh.
The third game.
But right now, down by 5 in the first half. Of the initial quarter, another good start para sa Ninoy. It's a 7-0 run. Paso with a hand on it. They hook it out. Special double. 2 to go. Yes.
The Agriculture Food Masters will attempt to recover from a last Sunday's loss to defending champion AFP Cavaliers. The Food Masters must win against PhilHealth Plus on Sunday to guarantee a spot in the second round eliminations. PhilHealth, which have a 1-2 win-loss record, must exert an extra effort as they are in the brink of exiting the league this early should they lose to the Food Masters. Bernard Dalis, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Environmental managers all over the country gathered during the 2019 Para El Mar for the Seas Marine Protected Area Awards and recognition. The event aims to boost governance and promotion of the country's marine protected areas. More details from this report.
Masbate City's Punto Reef Marine Sanctuary was hailed as this year's outstanding locally managed marine protected area at the 7th Para El Mar Awards in recognition in Bahay ng Alumna UP Diliman on Wednesday. The Punto Reef topped out of 200 locally managed marine protected areas or MPAs in the country. It is a 250-hectare small islet and mangrove area in the capital of Masbate Province with vibrant coral reefs for snorkeling and scuba diving. According to Masbate City Mayor Rowena Tuazon, this award is significant to raise awareness on protecting MPAs.
Palagay ko ang award na ito, mas pagbubutihin nila ang pagpapatrol niya sa kadagatan at saka yung mga tao din, especially yung mga youth. Pag nalaman nila na nanalo kami dito, they will be proud. Practically lahat kami, we are very proud of this award.
Not only that, this refreshing getaway in Bicol also received the Best in Enforcement Award for demonstrating sustained and programmatic approach in restoring biodiversity. Others MPAs recognized during the awards night include Del Carmen Mangrove Conservation and Eco Park of Calapan City, Oriental Mindoro, named as this year's Best Mangrove, and the Apo Island Protected Landscape and Seascape of Negros Oriental awarded as the Outstanding National Integrated Protected Area, while the Gingoog Bay Alliance from Misamis Oriental was accorded with Outstanding Network Award. Para El Mar showcases the country's best performing marine protected areas. It is part of a performance-based incentive mechanism to promote effective management and science-based governance of MPAs. It is presented by the Marine Protected Areas Support Network in cooperation with the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources and the Department of Environment and Natural Resources.
Kung titingnan mo, as part of the tourism destination are these coastal waters natin. So napaka-importante na maayos yung pagmamanage ng ating mga local partners. At the national level, nag-establish tayo ng Marine Protected Area. I-legislate natin ito. Not just for food production, but also for ecotourism.
Watch out as the UNTV The Dive team visits the country's outstanding marine protected areas, marvel breathtaking underwater beauty, and find out how we can contribute in protecting and conserving our oceans. This and more in the 5th season of UNTV The Dive. Maribel Boral Cabling, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The PNP Calabarzon and teachers in a high school in Pampanga undergo basic life support and first aid training with UNTV News and Rescue. Mon Hokson tells us why.
In times of emergency like calamities and road accidents, we usually call the police. They must always be ready and apply the knowledge they have, especially when someone's life is in danger. Because of this, personnel from the Regional Mobile Force Battalion, or RMFB, of Police Regional Office 4A requested UNTV News and Rescue to conduct first aid and basic life support training.
Although we have some training na related sa ganito, pero hindi ganun kalalim yung kaalaman nila. Kaya napakaganda itong pagkakataon na nandito yung mga training staff natin from UNTV, which are very qualified to teach and share yung mga kaalaman nila pagdating sa search and rescue.
Some 50 members of the RMFB Calabarzon joined the rescue training in Camp General Macario Sakay in Los Baños, Laguna. They were taught backboarding, splinting, and proper cardiopulmonary resuscitation or CPR.
Aside dun sa kanilang line of work, no, na pwede nilang matulungan yung mga kabady din nila na if in case na during emergencies na nasugatan, mabibigyan kaagad nila ng lunas. And then also, ganun din, pagka mayroong mga aksidente silang nadaanan, aksidente silang kailangan tugunan. So, at least they know how to perform first aid.
Kuya Daniel, salamat po sa Diyos at natugunan mo ang aming request. Ito po ay kailangan talaga natin sa panahon na ganito. On behalf po sa RMFB4A family, kami po ay taos-pusong nagpapasalamat sa Diyos.
UNTV News and Rescue also taught over 70 teachers in San Andres M. Luciano High School in Magalang, Pampanga how to give basic life support and first aid. They were taught the proper ways of bandaging, splinting, control bleeding, and other emergency rescue techniques.
UNTV, maraming salamat sa mga programa ninyo. Nakakatulong ito ng malaki sa mga schools, yung mga kaalaman na ibinabahagi ninyo sa mga tao, malaking tulong ito sa amin.
Sana po ipagpatuloy pa ng UNTV News Rescue ang ginagawa niya na hindi lamang po dito kung hindi sa iba pa pong mga paaralan dito sa Magalang. Ang laking bagay po ng nagawa ninyo dahil ang dami naming natutunan. Salamat po sa inyo, salamat UNTV. Mabuhay po kayo.
UNTV News and Rescue is also known for responding to various emergency situations through its teams nationwide. To impart first aid and basic life support capabilities is part of Mr. Public Service Kuya Daniel Razon's advocacy. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news this October 25, 2019. On behalf of Alex Baltazar and Angelo Castro III, I am William Theo, and before we close, we will recap with today's significant soundbites. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.
Ang corruption sa customs is really in the level of the examiners, appraisers, district collectors, more than it is in the level of the commissioner. Dahil sila po yung boots on the ground.
Ang makumpiska po kasi ay napagsama-sama ng ating provincial veterinary na kumpiska. So that actually medyo yung protocol po dapat pong masunod na pag-iwa-hiwalayin po talaga dapat.
Malaki rin, syempre wala magpapahugas, tambay yung mga tao, sumusweldo sila kahit walang hugas.
Yung mga kontak ko sa phone, pinagtatawagan nila na sinabi na meron nga daw akong due date, parang pati sila tinatakot na pag hindi ako nakapagbayad. Kasama sila sa mga kasuhan.
Although we have some training na related sa ganito, pero hindi ganun kalalim yung kaalaman nila. Kaya napakaganda itong pagkakataon na nandito yung mga training staff natin from UNTV which are very qualified to teach and share yung mga kaalaman nila pagdating sa search and rescue.